Overlooked and dismissed by my colleagues, I embarked on a mission to show my worth and transform the situation. I sat in the glass conference room, watching Derek tap his pen against the mahogany table. My heart pounded as I prepared to present my quarterly efficiency proposal. I'd spent weeks perfecting every detail, every chart, every solution. When Derek finally nodded at me, I stood up, cleared my throat, and began explaining how we could save the company over $2 million annually. That's interesting, Claire, Derek said, barely glancing at my presentation. But I think we need more practical solutions. The room erupted in snickers. My colleague Marcus rolled his eyes dramatically. Maybe stick to what you know best, he added with a smirk. I felt my cheeks burn as the room dismissed my ideas without consideration. These same people who ignored me in meetings, who never invited me to lunch, who treated me like office furniture. Emma, sitting across from me, gave me a sympathetic look. She was the only one who ever listened. Derek moved on to the next agenda item like I hadn't spoken at all. I sat back down, my hands trembling slightly. This wasn't the first time, and I knew it wouldn't be the last. 3 days later, I walked into the office early, hoping to catch up on some reports. But as I passed Derek's office, I heard familiar words through his slightly open door. He was on a video call with upper management, presenting my efficiency proposal word for word. This innovative approach could revolutionize our operations, Derek said confidently, gesturing at slides that looked exactly like mine. I've been working on this strategy for months. My stomach dropped. I stood frozen in the hallway, listening to him take credit for every idea, every calculation, every solution I'd developed. The executives on the screen were impressed, praising Derek's brilliant insight and forward-thinking approach. I backed away quietly, my mind racing. How could he steal my work so blatantly? I had timestamps, email drafts, research notes, all proving the proposal was mine. But who would believe me over Derek, the golden boy who'd been here 5 years longer? I retreated to my cubicle, feeling sick. Emma noticed my pale face when she arrived. "What's wrong?" she whispered. I couldn't even find the words. The next few weeks felt like walking through quicksand. Every day, I watched Derek receive congratulations for his brilliant proposal. The CEO mentioned it in the company newsletter. HR used it as an example of innovative thinking. Meanwhile, I remained invisible. During team meetings, my colleagues would reference Derek's strategy, while I sat there, knowing every detail came from my late nights and weekend research. Marcus even suggested Derek should lead a workshop on creative problem-solving. The irony was suffocating. I started eating lunch alone at my desk, avoiding the break room where everyone gathered around Derek like he was some kind of genius. Emma tried to include me in conversations, but I could see the others' eyes glaze over whenever I spoke. One afternoon, I overheard 2 coworkers discussing promotions. "Derek's definitely getting the senior analyst position," one said. "After that amazing proposal, he's management material." I gripped my coffee cup so tight I thought it might shatter. That proposal was supposed to be my ticket to recognition, my proof that I belonged here. "You need to document everything," Emma whispered during our coffee break. We'd found a quiet corner in the lobby, away from prying ears. Screenshots, emails, timestamps, build a case. I stirred my latte nervously. "What's the point? Who's going to believe me over Derek?" Emma leaned forward. "You can't let him keep stealing your work. This is your career we're talking about." She was right, but the thought of confronting Derek terrified me. He had influence, connections, respect, everything I lacked. That night, I went home and started organizing files. I found my original research documents, dated weeks before Derek's presentation. I had email threads showing my thought process, rough drafts with my unique writing style, even browser history proving I'd researched specific data points. As I compiled everything, anger replaced fear. This wasn't just about one stolen proposal. It was about years of being overlooked, dismissed, and treated like I didn't matter. Emma was right. It was time to fight back. I created a secure folder on my personal laptop and began my quiet rebellion. The following Monday, I arrived early again, but this time I wasn't there by accident. I'd learned Derek's schedule. He always grabbed coffee at 8:30 sharp. As I organized files near the printer, I heard his voice from the break room. "Claire's role might be redundant," he was telling someone on the phone. With the new efficiency measures in place, we could reallocate her budget to more strategic initiatives. My blood turned to ice. He wasn't just stealing my ideas, he was planning to eliminate my position entirely. I pressed closer to the wall, straining to hear more. The proposal I presented showed we can streamline operations, Derek continued. Claire's contributions have been minimal lately. It makes financial sense. I backed away slowly, my heart hammering. He was using my own work to justify firing me. The proposal that was supposed to advance my career was becoming the weapon to destroy it. I rushed to my desk, hands shaking as I opened my laptop. If Derek wanted to play dirty, I'd show him what real strategy looked like. I spent the next week digging deeper into our department's performance metrics. What I discovered was shocking. Under Derek's leadership, our team's productivity had actually declined by 15%. Client satisfaction scores were dropping. Several major accounts were expressing concerns about delayed deliveries and communication gaps. Derek had been covering these problems with creative reporting and strategic omissions in his updates to management. He'd present only the positive numbers while burying the concerning trends in footnotes and appendices. My stolen proposal wasn't just good, it was desperately needed. Without implementing those efficiency measures, our department was headed for serious trouble. Derek knew this, which explained his desperation to claim credit for the solution. I started documenting everything: missed deadlines, client complaints, budget overruns. Derek had been playing smoke and mirrors while real problems festered underneath. Emma noticed my intense focus. "Finding anything interesting?" she asked quietly. I showed her a graph comparing our team's performance to other departments. Her eyes widened. "This is worse than I thought," she whispered. That Friday, my phone rang with an unknown number. "Claire Williams?" the voice asked. "This is Patricia from Quantum Solutions. We'd like to discuss a potential opportunity with you." My heart skipped. Quantum Solutions was our biggest competitor, known for treating employees with respect and offering excellent career growth. "How did you get my number?" I asked. "Your reputation precedes you," Patricia said warmly. "We've heard about your innovative thinking and would love to meet. Are you available for lunch next week?" I glanced around the office, making sure no one was listening. Yes, I think I could manage that. After hanging up, I felt a mixture of excitement and guilt. Was I betraying my current company by even considering another offer? But then I remembered Derek's phone call about making my role redundant. Maybe it was time to explore my options. If my current workplace couldn't see my value, perhaps someone else would. I scheduled the meeting for Tuesday, telling myself it was just an informational conversation. The Quantum Solutions office was everything ours wasn't. Bright, collaborative, energetic. Patricia, their HR director, greeted me with genuine warmth. "We've been following your work," she said as we settled into a comfortable conference room. "My work?" I asked, confused. "Your efficiency analysis proposal. Word travels fast in our industry." My stomach dropped. She was talking about Derek's stolen presentation. I carefully explained that while I'd contributed to that project, I couldn't take full credit. Patricia smiled knowingly. "Claire, we do our homework. We know exactly who developed those innovative solutions." For the next hour, she outlined a position that seemed perfect: senior analyst with a clear path to management, supportive team environment, and a salary that was 30% higher than my current pay. "We believe in recognizing talent," Patricia said. "Your ideas could transform our operations." As I walked back to my car, I felt something I hadn't experienced in years. Hope. Someone finally saw my worth. I didn't accept Quantum's offer immediately. Instead, I decided to use this opportunity as leverage to reclaim my position at my current company. If I was going to leave, I wanted to go out on my terms, not because Derek had pushed me out. I spent the weekend developing a comprehensive strategy. First, I'd document Derek's mismanagement and present it to upper management. Then I'd reveal the truth about my stolen proposal. Finally, I'd show them what real leadership looked like. The key was timing and presentation. I couldn't appear vindictive or petty. Everything had to be professional, factual, and focused on the company's best interests. I practiced my presentation in the mirror, refining every word. Emma called Sunday evening to check on me. "You sound different," she said, "more confident." "I found my backbone," I replied. It was buried under years of being told I didn't matter. Monday morning, I walked into the office with a new sense of purpose. I had a plan, and I was ready to execute it. My opportunity came sooner than expected. During Tuesday's management meeting, the CEO mentioned concerns about department efficiency. "We need fresh perspectives on operational improvements," he announced. I took a deep breath and raised my hand. "I'd like to present some findings I've been working on." Derek shot me a warning look, but the CEO nodded. "Schedule something with my assistant, Claire. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts." After the meeting, Derek cornered me by the elevator. "What are you up to?" he demanded. "Just trying to help the company succeed," I replied calmly. "Isn't that what we're all here for?" His jaw tightened. "Don't overstep your boundaries, Claire. You're not management material." I smiled sweetly. "We'll see about that." That afternoon, I scheduled a presentation for Friday. I had 3 days to prepare the most important presentation of my career. Friday arrived faster than I expected. I walked into the executive conference room carrying a folder thick with evidence and analysis. The CEO, CFO, and 2 VPs sat around the polished table. Derek was notably absent. I'd specifically requested a leadership-only meeting. "Thank you for this opportunity," I began, my voice steadier than I felt. "I've identified several critical issues affecting our department's performance." I presented my findings methodically. Declining productivity, client dissatisfaction, budget inefficiencies. The executives leaned forward, clearly concerned by what they were seeing. "These problems require immediate attention," I continued. "I've developed a comprehensive solution that addresses root causes rather than symptoms." The CEO raised an eyebrow. "This sounds similar to Derek's recent proposal." "Actually," I said carefully, "I developed these solutions several weeks before that presentation. I have documentation proving the timeline and original research." The room grew quiet. I could see them processing the implications. "Are you suggesting Derek misrepresented the source of those ideas?" the CFO asked. "I'm suggesting we focus on implementing effective solutions, regardless of who gets credit," I replied diplomatically. Derek's reaction was swift and vicious. By Monday morning, rumors were circulating that I was disloyal, that I'd been bad-mouthing the company to competitors, that I couldn't be trusted with sensitive information. "I heard Claire's been interviewing with other companies," Marcus announced loudly during the morning meeting. "Probably selling our trade secrets." I felt every eye in the room turn to me. Derek sat back with a satisfied smirk, clearly enjoying the show. "Loyalty is so important in our industry," he said meaningfully. Emma tried to defend me, but the damage was done. Colleagues who'd barely acknowledged me before were now actively hostile. My email access was temporarily restricted pending a security review. I spent lunch alone in my car, fighting back tears. Derek was trying to destroy my reputation before I could expose his lies. But I wasn't giving up. If anything, his desperate reaction proved I was on the right track. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. The CEO's assistant, Helen, approached me quietly after work. "I need to show you something," she whispered, glancing around nervously. She led me to an empty conference room and pulled out her phone. "I was setting up for Derek's presentation last week when I accidentally started recording. I thought you should see this." The video showed Derek on a phone call, clearly visible through the glass wall. "Claire has no idea I'm using her proposal," he was saying. "She's too naive to protect her own work." My heart raced as I watched him laugh about stealing my ideas. "She'll probably quit soon anyway. These people never have what it takes for real success." Helen looked uncomfortable. "I've seen how hard you work, Claire. This isn't right." I thanked her profusely, my mind already racing with possibilities. This video was proof of Derek's deception, recorded by an unbiased witness. "Would you be willing to share this with management?" I asked. Helen nodded firmly. "Derek's been taking credit for other people's work for years. It's time someone stopped him." The video spread through the office like wildfire. Helen had accidentally left it open on her computer when Derek's supporter Marcus walked by. Within hours, everyone had seen it. The reaction was immediate and dramatic. Colleagues who'd shunned me suddenly offered awkward apologies. "I had no idea Derek was lying," one admitted. "We all thought those were his ideas." Derek tried damage control, claiming the video was taken out of context. but the evidence was too clear. His credibility crumbled as people began questioning other presentations he'd given. Emma found me at my desk, grinning widely. The whole office is talking about it. People are furious that Derek made them look foolish for supporting him. I felt a surge of vindication, but also nervousness. Derek wouldn't go down without a fight, and he still had allies in management. "This is just the beginning," I told Emma. "The real battle starts now." Derek's counterattack was predictable but effective. He called an emergency team meeting, positioning himself as the victim of a malicious campaign. "Someone is trying to sabotage our department's success," he announced dramatically. "Claire has been spreading lies and recording private conversations. This kind of toxic behavior threatens everything we've built together." Several newer employees nodded along, unsure what to believe. Derek was skilled at manipulation, painting himself as a dedicated leader under attack. "I've made mistakes," he continued, "but my commitment to this team has never wavered. Can we say the same about someone who secretly interviews with competitors?" I sat quietly, letting him dig his own grave. The more desperate he became, the more obvious his lies appeared to anyone paying attention. After the meeting, I approached the CEO's office. It was time to present my complete case. My second presentation to leadership was different. This time, I had allies. Helen provided testimony about Derek's stolen credit claims. Emma documented instances of his mismanagement. 3 other colleagues shared stories of their ideas being appropriated. "This pattern of behavior has created a toxic environment," I explained to the assembled executives. "Productivity suffers when employees don't feel valued or protected." The CEO looked troubled. "These are serious allegations, Claire. Do you have recommendations for moving forward?" I pulled out my final folder. "I propose a leadership restructure focused on transparency and accountability. Implement systems that protect intellectual property and ensure proper credit attribution." The CFO studied my detailed plan. "This is comprehensive work. When did you develop this?" "I've been thinking about these improvements for months," I replied. "Some problems require time to fully understand and solve." Derek wasn't present for this meeting, but I knew he'd hear about it soon enough. Derek's final gambit was a company-wide team-building retreat. "We need to rebuild trust and communication," he announced, booking an expensive resort for the weekend. I suspected it was an attempt to regain control of the narrative, to remind everyone why they'd once respected him. He planned activities designed to showcase his leadership skills and minimize the recent controversies. But the retreat backfired spectacularly. During a trust-building exercise, Derek publicly berated a junior employee for not following instructions properly. During the group problem-solving session, he dismissed every suggestion that wasn't his own. The final blow came during his planned inspirational speech. He accidentally displayed an old presentation slide that clearly showed my name as the original author of his innovative efficiency proposal. The room fell silent. Derek scrambled to explain, but the damage was irreversible. Even his strongest supporters looked embarrassed. I didn't gloat. I simply stood up and suggested we focus on collaborative solutions moving forward. Back at the office, momentum shifted decisively in my favor. Colleagues who'd witnessed Derek's retreat meltdown began approaching me with their own stories of his misconduct. "He took credit for my client retention strategy last year," one revealed. "I never spoke up because I was afraid." "He's been undermining team morale for months," another added. "People are scared to share ideas because they know he'll steal them." I listened carefully, documenting everything. This wasn't just about my stolen proposal anymore. It was about a pattern of toxic leadership that had damaged the entire department. Emma helped me organize the testimonies into a comprehensive report. "This is bigger than we thought," she said, reviewing the evidence. I scheduled another meeting with the executive team. This time, I wasn't just presenting my case, I was presenting a solution to a company-wide problem. The final presentation was my masterpiece. I walked into the boardroom with 3 folders: evidence of Derek's misconduct, analysis of its impact on company performance, and a detailed plan for rebuilding department culture. "The cost of poor leadership extends far beyond hurt feelings," I began, displaying charts showing declining productivity, increased turnover, and client dissatisfaction under Derek's management. The executives studied the data intently. The CEO asked pointed questions about my recommendations for change. The CFO wanted specifics about implementation timelines. This transformation won't happen overnight, I concluded. But with proper leadership and commitment to transparency, we can rebuild trust and restore performance. After I finished, the CEO asked me to step outside while they deliberated. I waited in the hallway, my heart pounding with anticipation and fear. 20 minutes later, Helen emerged from the boardroom. She was smiling. Derek's removal was swift and decisive. The CEO called an all-hands meeting Monday morning. After careful review, we've decided to make leadership changes in our operations department, he announced. Derek will be transitioning to a new role outside the company, effective immediately. The room buzzed with whispers and shocked expressions. Derek wasn't present. He'd been informed privately and had already cleared out his office. Claire Williams will be serving as interim department head while we conduct a formal search for permanent leadership, the CEO continued. I felt every eye in the room turned to me. Some faces showed surprise, others approval, a few skepticism. But for the first time in years, I felt respected. After the meeting, colleagues approached with congratulations and questions about my plans. I listened carefully, taking notes, already thinking about how to rebuild trust and collaboration. Emma squeezed my shoulder. "You did it," she whispered. "You actually did it." But I knew the real work was just beginning. The news of Derek's departure spread quickly through the industry. Within days, I received calls from former colleagues, competitors, and even reporters wanting to know what had happened. I kept my responses professional and brief. "We're focused on moving forward and building a stronger team," I told everyone who asked. Quantum Solutions called to congratulate me and renew their offer. "We're even more impressed now," Patricia said. "Your leadership during this crisis shows exactly the kind of character we value." I thanked her but declined. "I have work to finish here," I explained. "This team deserves a chance to succeed." The truth was, I'd found my purpose. This wasn't just about my career anymore. It was about creating the kind of workplace I'd always wanted to be part of. Derek's former supporters began approaching me cautiously, offering to help with the transition. I welcomed them warmly, knowing that healing would require forgiveness and fresh starts. My first official act as department head was implementing a transparent idea-sharing system. Everyone's contributions will be properly documented and credited, I announced during our team meeting. I established regular one-on-one meetings with each team member, creating safe spaces for honest feedback and collaboration. The difference was immediate. People who'd been silent for months began sharing innovative suggestions. Emma became my unofficial deputy, helping coordinate projects and maintain team morale. "It's amazing how much energy people have when they're not worried about getting stabbed in the back," she observed. We redesigned our meeting structure to ensure everyone had a voice. Junior employees were encouraged to present their ideas directly to clients. Recognition became public and specific. Within weeks, productivity began climbing. Client satisfaction scores improved. The toxic atmosphere that had poisoned our workplace started dissipating. But the most rewarding change was seeing my colleagues' confidence return. The CEO called me into his office 6 weeks into my interim role. "The board has been reviewing department performance," he said, sliding a folder across his desk. Inside were metrics showing dramatic improvements. Productivity up 25%, client retention at an all-time high, employee satisfaction scores doubled. "We'd like to offer you the permanent position," he continued. "Your leadership has transformed the department." I felt a surge of pride and gratitude. "I'm honored," I replied, "but I want to ensure this change is sustainable." We discussed long-term strategies, budget allocations, and growth plans. The CEO listened to my ideas with genuine interest and respect, a stark contrast to how Derek had dismissed my contributions. "There's one more thing," he said, as I prepared to leave. "The board wants to implement your original efficiency proposal company-wide. We estimate it could save us over $5 million annually." I smiled, remembering how Derek had stolen those ideas months ago. I'd be happy to oversee that implementation. 3 months later, I stood before our entire department at our quarterly celebration. The room was filled with colleagues who'd become friends, junior employees who'd been promoted, and new hires attracted by our reputation for fairness and innovation. When I started this journey, I began, I thought success meant proving my worth to people who didn't value me. I've learned something different. I looked around the room, seeing engaged faces and genuine smiles. Real success means creating an environment where everyone can prove their worth to themselves. The applause was warm and heartfelt. Emma wiped away tears. Even former Derek supporters nodded approvingly. Later, as I cleaned up after the celebration, I found a card on my desk. Inside, a junior employee had written, "Thank you for showing us that good people can win." I thought about Derek, probably struggling at his new job, still trying to take credit for others' work. I felt pity rather than anger. Today, I sit in my office, Derek's former office, reviewing proposals from my team. Each idea is properly attributed, thoroughly discussed, and genuinely considered. The difference is transformative. My phone buzzes with a text from Patricia at Quantum Solutions. "Heard about your promotion. Still interested in poaching you." I laugh and delete the message. I'm exactly where I belong. Emma knocks on my door, carrying coffee and a stack of client feedback forms. "All positive," she reports with a grin. Apparently, our new approach is refreshingly collaborative. I think about that humiliating conference room meeting where Derek dismissed my ideas. Those same ideas now form the backbone of our company's efficiency strategy, saving millions and earning industry recognition. But the real victory isn't the money or the title. It's the knowledge that I fought for my worth and won. Not just for myself, but for everyone who'd ever been overlooked, dismissed, or undervalued. Sometimes the greatest transformation happens when you stop waiting for others to see your value and start showing them what you're truly capable of.